When you come into your template, the first thing you'll want to do is change the name up here where it says author name books. You can click into edit site header and edit that little section there. That's going to change the name for everything, for how it shows up in your dashboard. And then the first most important thing, well, I guess I would say second, is this little paintbrush up here in the corner. This is where you're going to set the style that the whole site is going to draw from. So this is where you decide what fonts all of the different headings and paragraphs will be, the color scheme. So as you are changing things, it's going to reference and pull from this area and the decisions that you make here. So plenty of different things to choose from. And if you get overwhelmed and you don't want to have a million things to choose from, they also have suggested ones. So I am thinking here about this pen name and what feel I want to give it. So I spend a lot of time looking at what the different fonts are going to look like to get just the right feel for what I want for this website. So you'll be able to see it looking extremely different and how you can really change everything and customize everything to fit your author brand and the tone and genre of your books. Next, I'm getting into the color scheme. So again, there's a bunch of palettes that it has already put together, and uh, not totally sure about any of these. I guess particularly with that little where to buy button, that's the tertiary button style, and it's not going to look good unless I have something white, I think. But even within picking one of these color styles, you can still change out individual colors to whatever you want to. So it's a nice blend of guardrails to give you well put together, again, font combinations, color combinations. But if you want to completely customize yourself, then you also have the ability to do that. And you can see that it is changing this overlay color of the background image, but I'm going to be changing that background image in a moment anyway, because again, I think it's a little too formal feeling for this particular author brand. And then a lot of the things on the page you can click on and change it around. So I can change this header button to be any of those three styles that were set. And then within here, I'm just editing inside of, I can change this background. I have a lot of fun with these little animations that they have. You can put a squiggle and you can make it different kinds of squiggles. You can change the color and the way that it draws it on. But I am going to end up changing this tagline around, as it is clearly not a finished tagline. This style of books for lovers of ... is supposed to be filled in with this. This is for people who love books that, this genre or whatever. So I'm kind of just messing around and clicking lots of buttons and seeing what it lets me change. Oh no. Ah! Okay. That is huge and not readable, so I'm going to be doing a lot of messing around to make this tagline fit in and be easy to read and not compete with the header. Got some of my work cut out for me here. Ooh, actually, I like that font. So that is the paragraph font, I believe, that I already set, but I like that one. Yeah, okay. And it's big enough. So I am going to change the background next, I think, and see what I need to change to make the tagline there still look readable once I pick a new background. Yes, that is it. That is the brand feel that I am looking for. So let's see what it looks like with some of this pen names covers in here, because that is going to make a big difference whether it all comes together or whether it all blends together. Let's find out. Now, I haven't actually put up any books for this pen name yet because this is about to be a test of the website template. So instead of reviews, I think I will put some quotes from the books in here once I have them. And I probably don't need this many, so I can just delete some. But this text box is just on top of this other box, so if you have a review and you paste it in, then you can adjust the sizes of the box and the sizes of the text so that it stays on top of them correctly. And there's also in the upper left corner near that save button, you'll see the little stack of layers. And if you click that, you can move what's on top of what, kind of like in Canva, so you can make sure that your text is on top of the box and not hiding underneath it. And speaking of the save button, make sure that you hit that frequently. It is not an auto save function. Definitely want to hit that one. You can also adjust the mobile site once you have the desktop site how you like it. In the upper right hand corner near that paintbrush, there is the switch between desktop and mobile. And the elements themselves that are on there will stay the same, but you can move them around and change their sizing and it won't affect the other one. So here I am just trying to make sure that this is, like I said before, readable, but I also don't want it to look, ooh, that's a neat effect. Okay, I like that. I was going to take that background thing off because it seemed too, like, stark, but being able to see the gradient in the letters through it, I really like that. Maybe I'll just make it, yeah, a little bit, take the opacity down, maybe round the corners a little bit, just try to make it look less dramatic, but I do really like that effect. Now I am going to add the other two covers that I have, but I don't have a fourth cover worked out for this yet, nor do I have the full outline for what these books are going to be, so this whole test thing might take a while. Ideally, each of these images would be linked to where you can buy them on Amazon, and they will, of course, also have a fuller description down below. So I'm going to have to take the fourth one off because I only have the 3 books. And if you are somebody who has fewer books or more books, you can add them, you can move them around, just grab and drag them. You can duplicate to add more and arrange them however looks nice. If you have a lot of books, you probably don't want to put all of them up in this section, but just something to make it look attention grabbing and let people know immediately what you do and what you have. Now I am changing the wording here on this form a little bit, because right now this is very generic. Sign up with your email to get news and updates. That's not what we're getting. We're going to send a free book or a free short story, which is also not written yet, but you know, I'm just demonstrating what this could look like. So we have a bit of a better call to action here, and then move on to setting up all of the books that are available, which is not very many, so I'm going to end up taking a lot out of that section, which if you have, again, fewer books than what I've allowed for here, it just doesn't end up pretty. I wish I could do more to change this form around. After you submit it, it's ideal to do this redirect instead of a message to put them on a thank you page, but I don't have a plan for a thank you page right now, so we're just going to do a message that says, please check your email. So I'm looking around at some more design options, trying to make this look less gigantic, but I have not seen anything that really lets me make it exactly how I want it in terms of the form. Oh well. So later I do need to set up a sequence that goes with this form, and there will be a place for that in the dashboard where when somebody submits the form, then you send a welcome email that you can attach this freebie to. The idea here is to put the book description someplace where people can tag it off and on. I really don't like having the lines on there. It keeps putting them back on. Again, drag and drop it so that it fits where you want it to, and you see the little grid lines behind there. Those are adjustable as well. So just move stuff around, fiddle with it, drag it, make it different sizes, different fonts, different colors, just until you like what it looks like. At the bottom of a section as well, you'll see that little blue thing pops up that has the little arrow sort of thing. I'm going to drag that and make the section fit what I just did to readjust. And I'm just going to remove the section because, again, I don't have that many books. And we'll save, and then we have this section that's about like behind the scenes, work in progress. And you know what? I don't have any social media for this pen name. I don't really want people writing any emails to me for this pen name if I can avoid it, because we're just basic tests. So I'm just going to get rid of all of that. And I'm going to take my disclaimer and just make it fit the space better, center it, and then shorten this as well in terms of the section itself being less big. So you can add things to the footer, you can take things away from the footer, you can do whatever you want. So fully customizable. Now I really want a different color for this background. This just feels too dark. And you can see there's all these options which are mixes and matches of the colors that we chose earlier from the paintbrush, but I'm not sure that any of these are going to work. So I might go back into colors. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, there we go. Yeah, that's the one. That's the color I want for this. Yeah, no, that's too dark. Yeah, I definitely like this light bluish purple. So I'm going to make that the section background for most of these things that are the darker purple, because I just think that has a a lighter feel to it that, yeah, it fits in with that gradient image that we found for the header image too. Okay, go back into edit. Take that book cover off because I only have the 3, as I said. I might rearrange that later, but right now I am putting in the book cover image that I just made for the free short story that I plan to create. So find that I just created, and you can see where you can attach a link. For this one we wouldn't attach a link, but for the ones above we would. And yeah, I'm going to rearrange these a little bit to fit better and not cover over what I don't want it to. So I will do a little bit more messing around with that. This can be done quicker. I just like to keep playing with things and seeing what they look like and trying out different things. So you don't necessarily have to do that. That's the beauty of the template, is that you have the ability to just throw in your own images and links and go from there. But it does make a difference if you can make the website give readers the feel of what they'll be getting from your books. That will help with the conversion. So there was a demonstration there of those layers that I was talking about as well. And here I've switched to the mobile view to take a quick look at how that is doing. That actually came out pretty good in the mobile view. There's some big gaps here that I might work on changing there. It looks good on the desktop, but not so much on the mobile. Here we are out again. So this is where we would hook up for, as I said, when someone fills out the form, then the form submission would lead into a welcome email automation. So this is where one would set that up. I can't do it quite yet because I don't have an email list or any of the stuff set up, and I certainly don't have the story yet to attach to it. So I will be coming back to do this later, but you would definitely want to have this when your site goes live so that you can start your author newsletter and be gathering all of those names. And this is what it will look like. And you'll click that activate button when you have, of course, when you're done with your trial, that you'll pay for your site and that be able to activate that there. And here you can see that I ended up layering these 3 books in a row and using that layer button to make sure that they're in the right order. I really like how this looks with 3 books. And then I moved up the where to buy and see all books buttons because there was no reason to have that blank space there. So I made that whole header more efficient. So it looks quite different than it did from the original template, but you can see how kind of quickly and easily we got there. I don't know, not as quickly because I am not the quickest, but we relatively easily moved things around and it looks quite different now from how the template was. Now what I'm going to do is edit these in the site header so that the menu go where I want it to. So like the free story, I'm going to say what it actually is here. It's kind of long, so maybe I'll try to tighten that up later, but right now that's what I got. And then it has an anchor link so that it will go straight to where that form is down the page a little bit. So you set that up by naming the section and putting in an anchor link when you are editing it, and then you can reference that link. So let me know if you need a better description on how to do that. But basically, that is that. I have fully customized this template to match a very different style of author, and that is how you can modify the template to really match your brand and look very different from how it was before. So you won't have a website that looks like other people's websites, but it will be laid out beautifully and perfectly for attracting readers, for building fans, and selling more books on autopilot, which is what we all want more of. There will eventually also be a template available that is a complete passive income system that will have the email automations, that will have all of the behind the scenes details set up as well. I am still working on that, so keep an eye out for it, and I will see you again soon.